Hello, and welcome to another edition of Thursday Thoughts with the Rector. Today is March 4th, 2021. We are approaching the third Sunday of Lent here in this season, year B in our lectionary cycle. And this Sunday presents us with some really awesome scripture readings. Our gospel reading is Jesus overturning the temple, as it's called, driving out the money changers. He sees things going on in a house of prayer for all people that are just not appropriate, and so he throws them all out. And it is a scene that many scholars would argue is what pushed both civil and religious leadership to pushing him towards crucifixion. That was the bridge too far for everybody. It comes very early in John's gospel, comes near the end of his life in the other gospels where it is recorded. And then also in our epistle reading, we hear from the Apostle Paul again, where he talks about the symbolism of the cross, that it is foolishness to those who are perishing, but it is the power of God to those who are being saved. I'm probably not going to preach on either of those because our Old Testament lesson is as I noted to in an email to a parishioner this week, is the Big Ten. And I don't mean the conference with Michigan and Ohio State and all of that. It is the Ten Commandments, which has so much history. It's not something that can be looked at all on its own. Definitely has to be looked at in the context of these newly freed people who are in the wilderness, as it were, and learning how to be God's people and learning what all of that means. So each week when I'm preparing a sermon, each time I'm preparing a sermon, I look at more than just the Bible passage in front of me. I look at what's ahead of it and what's after it. And I want to hear what other people who are a lot smarter than me and have studied this a lot more have had to say about it, especially people who know the variation of what words can be in Hebrew and in Greek. In this case, Hebrew, because it comes from the Jewish, from our Hebrew scriptures, from the Old Testament. And so I always go to a lot of different sources. And what struck me in this week was how much text there was, how much biblical text there was on the page versus how much commentary there was on the page. So I'm going to show you some pictures, particularly from this source. This is the Jewish Study Bible, which is just our Old Testament, and it has tons of commentary. It's great. I go to it all the time. But here are others that I went to: the New Revised Standard, the Hebrew Bible as translated and commented by Robert Alter, who has worked on this his entire life, as well as Feasting on the Word as a preaching commentary I always go to. And Rick Schulhaus loaned me this interpretation series from Exodus, where the pages about the Ten Commandments are just absolutely tremendous. But I want us to look at these images of, just real quick, about how much commentary there is versus how much scripture there is. And I think what's important to remember about that is that what I already said a little bit ago is that the scriptures are never taken just as they are in that moment. We have to look at what's ahead of it and what's after it. And we always have to remember who those scriptures were written to, because they were not written to 21st century American Christians, especially the Old Testament, right? Especially the Ten Commandments. The people are out there trying to figure out what it means to be freed from captivity. They don't have any concept in their minds, as this is getting written, any concept in their minds of 21st century America, right? There's no grasping that. And the Ten Commandments sometimes are seen as such simple rules of following and living as God's people that we sometimes gloss over them, or we forget to take the time to read them and to look at them, to read, mark, learn, and inwardly digest them. So this Sunday, my sermon is going to be about the Ten Commandments. And I promise you, I'm not going to go through each one by one, but we're going to look at the whole picture of why they're important, and what they tell us, even though they weren't written for us. What do they tell us as followers of Jesus here in the 21st century in the United States of America? So hope you'll join us in person on Sunday or online on our YouTube page, YouTube channel for our 10 o'clock service, and we're also in person at 8 and 10 and 4. And you can find out more information on our website, christchurchnewbern.com. Thanks for joining me. Have a great rest of your Thursday, and remember to wash your hands and wear a mask, and if you can, get the vaccine.